My name is Rebecca, and I'm 53 years old. I've lived in Portland, Oregon, my entire life, in the same neighborhood where I raised my son, Marcus. The houses here are modest but well kept, with maple trees lining the streets that turn brilliant shades of orange and red every fall. For 30 years, I worked as a nurse at Providence Hospital downtown. I dedicated my life to caring for others, often working double shifts to make sure Marcus had everything he needed. His father left when Marcus was just 3 years old, disappearing one winter morning without explanation. From that moment on, it was just the two of us against the world. I remember holding Marcus's tiny hand on his first day of kindergarten, staying up late helping him with science projects, and working extra shifts to afford his college tuition. He graduated with a business degree and landed a good job at a marketing firm. I was so proud, but somewhere along the way, things changed. It was a cold Saturday afternoon in late October when everything came crashing down. The wind rattled the windows of my small 2-bedroom house, and I could see dark clouds gathering over the distant hills. I had invited Marcus and his wife, Stephanie, over for lunch, something I'd been doing every other weekend since they got married 3 years ago. I'd spent the entire morning preparing Marcus's favorite meal, pot roast with roasted vegetables, homemade dinner rolls, and apple pie for dessert. I set the dining table with my good china, the set my mother had given me, with delicate blue flowers painted on white porcelain. When they arrived, something was immediately off. Stephanie walked in first, barely making eye contact, her designer purse clutched tightly against her side. Marcus followed behind her, his face buried in his phone. "Hi, Mom," he said absently, not even looking up. Stephanie settled onto the couch without offering to help, scrolling through her own phone. I tried to ignore the sting of disappointment and called them to the table. As we began eating, I attempted conversation. "So Marcus, how's work going?" "It's fine," he interrupted, cutting me off without looking up from his plate. Stephanie picked at her food, pushing the vegetables around with her fork. "Is there salt?" she asked, her tone flat. The silence that followed was uncomfortable, broken only by the sound of silverware against china and the distant rumble of thunder outside. After a few more minutes of painful silence, Stephanie set down her fork with an exaggerated sigh. "Marcus, we should probably get going soon. I have that thing with Brianna at 4. We just got here half an hour ago," I said quietly. "Yeah, well, we have plans," Marcus replied, already pushing his chair back. Something inside me snapped. All those years of sacrifice, all those sleepless nights, and this was what I got in return? "Marcus, wait," I said firmly. "Can I talk to you for a moment? Alone?" He looked annoyed but followed me into the kitchen. "What's going on with you?" I asked. "You barely talk to me anymore. You rush through our visits like they're a chore. I'm your mother. I deserve better than this." He rolled his eyes at me, and let out a dismissive laugh. "Mom, seriously? You're being dramatic. We came over, didn't we? What more do you want?" "I want my son back," I said, tears threatening to spill over. "I want the Marcus who used to care. I'm not a kid anymore," he said coldly. "I have my own life now. You need to accept that and stop being so needy." The word needy hit me like a physical blow. "I raised you better than this," I whispered. He laughed again, but this time it was cruel. "Oh, here we go. The I raised you speech. Mom, you did what you were supposed to do. That's what parents do. You don't get a medal for it." I stared at my son, this man I no longer recognized, and felt something shift inside me. "Get out," I said quietly. "What?" I said, "Get out of my house. Take your wife and leave." "Mom, don't be ridiculous. Now, Marcus, leave now." He stared at me, probably waiting for me to back down like I always had. But this time, I didn't. They gathered their things quickly, and as they headed toward the door, Marcus turned back. "You're overreacting, Mom. You'll calm down and call me in a few days like you always do." I said nothing, just watched as they walked out into the rain. I stood there in my empty house and made a decision. If Marcus wanted to treat me like I was nothing, then I would show him exactly what nothing looked like. The days following that lunch passed in strange, hollow silence. Portland's autumn rain continued relentlessly, making everything look gray and washed out. My phone sat on the kitchen counter, silent. Marcus didn't call. Not the next day, not the day after that. A week passed, then 2. He truly believed I would be the one to break first. He didn't know me as well as he thought he did. I'd spent those 2 weeks reflecting on my life and what I wanted the next chapter to look like. I was 53, not 90. I had plenty of life left to live, and I was tired of living it in the shadow of my son's indifference. On a Tuesday morning, 3 weeks after the incident, I walked into the hospital administrator's office and requested early retirement. I had enough years of service and savings to make it work. My supervisor, Linda, looked concerned. "Rebecca, are you sure about this?" she asked. "I'm sure," I replied. "I've been taking care of other people my entire life. It's time I took care of myself." My phone remained stubbornly silent. Marcus's birthday came and went, November 15th. In previous years, I would have called first thing in the morning, sent a card with money, and hosted a dinner party. This year, I did nothing. Instead, I started making plans for my new life. I'd always wanted to travel, but had never had the time or money. Now I could finally do it. I spent evenings researching destinations, imagining myself walking through places I'd only seen in photographs. My neighbor Dorothy, a 70-year-old widow, noticed the change in me. We were having coffee in her kitchen when she brought it up. "You seem different lately, Rebecca," she said. "What's going on?" I told her everything. Dorothy listened without interruption. "You're doing the right thing," she said finally. "Children sometimes need to learn what life looks like without us to appreciate what they had. Give it time. Sometimes the lessons that hurt the most are the ones we need the most." Thanksgiving approached. This year, I accepted Dorothy's invitation to Friendsgiving for neighbors without family nearby. It sounded perfect. The day before Thanksgiving, my phone finally rang. Marcus's name flashed on the screen. I didn't answer. A few minutes later, a voicemail appeared. "Hey, Mom, it's me," his voice said casually. "Just calling to confirm what time dinner is tomorrow. See you around 2?" He hadn't apologized. He'd simply assumed everything would go back to normal. I sent a brief text. "I won't be hosting Thanksgiving this year. Enjoy your holiday." He called 3 times that evening. I ignored them all. Thanksgiving Day at Dorothy's house was filled with warmth and laughter. I met interesting people and genuinely enjoyed myself. For the first time in months, I wasn't worrying about Marcus. I was just Rebecca, enjoying good company. My phone buzzed several times, angry text messages demanding to know why I was acting so childish. Each message revealed how he viewed me, not as a person with feelings, but as a service provider failing to meet his expectations. That night, I felt something I hadn't felt in a long time. Peace. I'd drawn a boundary, and I was maintaining it. December arrived with early snow. I'd completed my last shift at the hospital and was officially retired. The freedom was both exhilarating and terrifying. I'd booked a trip to Santa Fe for after the holidays. It would be my first solo trip ever, and I was determined to make it meaningful. Marcus had stopped calling as frequently, though occasional text messages came ranging from confused to irritated. I responded to none of them. One Saturday morning at the farmer's market, I ran into Jennifer Patterson, one of Stephanie's friends. "Rebecca? I almost didn't recognize you," she said. "You look different, good different." I'd gotten my hair cut and highlighted, something I'd wanted for years. "Just a trim," I said casually. "Listen, Stephanie mentioned that you and Marcus are going through something. She's pretty upset about it. I appreciate the concern, but I'm fine," I said. "Better than fine, actually." "But doesn't it hurt, not talking to your son?" "Of course it hurts," I admitted. "But you know what hurt more? Being treated like I didn't matter, being dismissed and disrespected in my own home." Jennifer's eyes widened. I excused myself, not wanting to continue the conversation. Christmas approached with its inevitable pressure to reconcile. I received a card from Marcus and Stephanie with a brief note. "Merry Christmas. Hope we can talk soon and work things out." No apology, no acknowledgement of wrongdoing. I put the card in a drawer. On Christmas Eve, I attended a candlelight service at church. After the service, Pastor Michelle said something that stayed with me. Sometimes loving someone means loving them from a distance. Christmas Day, I attended the church's community dinner. I sat next to an elderly man named Howard who told stories about his career as a merchant marine, traveling the world. "The world's a big place," he said. "Don't let anyone make you feel small." When I got home, there was a package on my doorstep, an expensive coffee maker I'd mentioned wanting months ago. The card read, "Merry Christmas, Mom. This shouldn't be happening. Please call. Marcus." The old Rebecca would have been moved, but the new Rebecca saw it for what it was. Another attempt to fix things without addressing the real problem. A material object instead of genuine remorse. I left the coffee maker in its box and went to bed. This wasn't about gifts. This was about respect. January arrived with crisp, clear skies. I was scheduled to leave for Santa Fe at the end of the month. Marcus had finally stopped the regular messages, though every few days I'd receive something increasingly desperate. But never, not once, was there a genuine apology. The second week of January, I ran into Stephanie at the grocery store. She looked different, less polished, more tired. "Can we talk?" she asked quietly. We moved to a quieter corner. "I owe you an apology," she said, "for how we behaved that day. My mom asked why we weren't spending Christmas with you, and when I explained, she got really angry. She said I was being spoiled and ungrateful. Your mother is a wise woman," I said. "Marcus and I have been fighting about it. He thinks you're being dramatic. But I'm starting to see that this isn't about forgiveness. It's about respect." "That's exactly what it's about," I replied. "Rebecca, I know I don't have the right to ask, but would you be willing to see us before you leave? Just once? I'll make sure Marcus actually listens." I thought carefully. "One dinner, at a restaurant of my choosing, and if he comes with the same attitude, I will walk out. I'll make sure he understands," she promised. The dinner was scheduled for the following Friday at a quiet Italian restaurant. I arrived first, wearing one of my new outfits, a deep green dress that made me feel elegant and strong. Marcus and Stephanie arrived on time. Marcus looked nervous, which was unusual. When he saw me, something in his expression crumbled. "Mom, He stopped, struggled, then tried again. "I've been a terrible son." I waited for him to continue. "I took you for granted. I treated your love like it was something I was entitled to instead of something precious. I acted like all the sacrifices you made were just expected." His voice broke. "And that day at your house, when you asked me what was wrong, I was cruel. I laughed at you when you were trying to tell me how much I'd hurt you." Tears streamed down his face. "I don't deserve your forgiveness, but I'm asking for a chance to earn it back." I took a sip of my wine. This was what I'd been waiting for, genuine understanding. "Do you know what hurt the most?" I asked. "It was when you said I was just doing what parents are supposed to do, like my love meant nothing. Like 30 years of putting you first was just expected. Meaningless." "It wasn't meaningless," he said urgently. "Mom, it meant everything. I was just too stupid and selfish to see it." We spent the next 2 hours really talking. Marcus told me about work stress, about his marriage struggles, about how he'd been drowning in his own problems. "That's not an excuse," he said quickly. "You deserved better, regardless of what I was going through." I told him about my retirement, my travel plans, my new life. I watched his face carefully, looking for resentment. Instead, I saw pride. "I'm happy for you, Mom," he said, and he seemed to mean it. "You should do all of those things. And when you come back, I want to be part of your life in a way that works for you, not just for me." As we said goodbye, Marcus hugged me tightly. "I love you, Mom. And I'm sorry it took me so long to show it the way you deserved." "I love you too," I replied. "But Marcus, understand something. This isn't going back to how things were. I'm not going to be available every weekend. I'm not going to be taken for granted ever again." "I understand," he said. "You deserve to live your own life. You've earned it." 2 weeks later, I boarded a plane to New Mexico. As we lifted off and Portland disappeared beneath the clouds, I thought about the journey that had brought me here. I'd taught my son a lesson, but I'd learned one too, that loving yourself isn't selfish, that boundaries aren't punishments, and that sometimes the best thing you can do for someone is to let them experience life without you. Marcus sent me a text as I landed. "Safe travels, Mom. Can't wait to hear about your adventures. Love you." I smiled and replied, "Love you too. Talk soon." And this time, soon, would be on my terms, in a relationship built on mutual respect. The desert stretched out before me, vast and beautiful, and I was ready to explore it all. The lesson had been learned, by both of us, and somehow, that made all the pain worth it.